Green Bay fans, pay close attention because what just happened could completely change the future of the franchise. A gigantic move has just shaken the league's backstage, and as a passionate fan of this historic team, I need to talk about it with all the intensity this moment deserves. The Packers have just closed a major trade with the Dallas team, sending pass rusher Rashan Gary in a deal that will also yield a fourth-round pick in the 2027 draft. And honestly, this could be much bigger than it seems at first glance. First of all, it's necessary to recognize what Rashan Gary represented wearing the green and yellow. He was a player who dedicated years to the team, a guy who faced a serious injury, fought with all his might to return to the field, and showed a work ethic that few athletes can maintain in the league. No one can deny that he battled hard to return to his best level after that physical problem that painfully ended one of his seasons. His effort was real and deserves the respect of any Packers fan. But American football is a brutally honest sport. On the field, performance speaks louder than any story of overcoming adversity. And looking at last season with the eyes of a fanatic fan, the truth needs to be told. Gary no longer seemed like the same explosive player who once terrorized opposing quarterbacks. At many moments, he seemed slow, lacking that devastating first step that defines an elite pass rusher. And when you put that side by side with explosive players who dominate the defensive line, the differences become very clear. There were several plays last season that showed exactly that. On several occasions, you could see other defenders crossing the field with much more speed, while Gary seemed a step behind the play. For those who watched the games attentively, analyzing each snap, it became evident that his impact was no longer the same. Pressuring the quarterback became rare. Decisive plays simply didn't appear. And in a defense that needs constant intensity, that weighs heavily. It's not a matter of disrespecting the player. On the contrary, Gary left his mark on the team's recent history and will always be remembered for important moments. But the NFL is a league where difficult decisions need to be made to keep a team competitive. And when management realizes that a hefty contract is tied to performance that no longer matches the investment, changes end up happening. And here's a huge point about this trade: the financial impact. Gary's contract represented a huge commitment for the coming years. By moving the player now, the Packers free up a massive amount of salary cap space. This means more room to rebuild important parts of the roster, invest in new talent, and seek players who can bring back that dominant energy to the defense. When we look at the complete picture, the trade starts to make even more sense. Green Bay not only gets rid of a hefty contract, but also adds a draft pick that could become an important piece in the future. And any fan who follows the franchise's history knows that the Packers have always been masters at finding hidden talent in the draft. How many times have we seen this team transform seemingly modest picks into fundamental players? It's almost part of the franchise's identity, so this additional pick could be much more valuable than it seems today. Meanwhile, on Dallas's side, they get an experienced player who can still contribute within a different system. Sometimes a change of environment makes all the difference for an athlete to rediscover their best level. Maybe Gary will find a new phase of his career there. And if that happens, great for him. But for Green Bay, the focus now is different. The focus is on building the next chapter of the Packers' defense. Because one thing needs to be clear to all the fans: this move isn't just about trading a player, it's about paving the way for something bigger. It's about reorganizing the defense's structure and rediscovering that aggressive identity that marked so many glorious moments for the franchise. Green Bay needs pass rushers who get to the quarterback hungry, explosive, with that intensity that makes the entire stadium jump out of their seats. That constant pressure that changes games, forces errors, and puts the opposing offense in a panic. That has always been one of the hallmarks of the great defenses in Packers history. Now, with more salary cap space and an extra draft pick, the front office has real tools to pursue that goal. Whether by investing in young college talent or bringing in an experienced name available on the market, the possibilities have greatly increased. And as a passionate fan, I say with complete conviction, this move could be the beginning of something very interesting for the team's future. Moments like this always divide opinions. Some fans get nostalgic, remembering the good times certain players provided. Others look ahead and see the opportunity for evolution. It's part of the sport. It's part of supporting with your heart. But one thing no one can deny, the Packers are making moves. They are making bold decisions. They are trying to create space to build something stronger. And that, for those who love this team, is something that deserves full attention. Now, the big question that remains among the fans is simple. Who will be the next great pass rusher wearing green and yellow? Who will be the player who will assume this responsibility and transform the defense back into a pressure machine? The draft is on the horizon. The player market also remains full of possibilities. The management knows that the fans expect answers. And if there's one thing we've learned following this franchise over the years, it's that Green Bay is never afraid to bet on the future. So stay tuned, fans, because this trade may be just the first step in a series of moves that will still shake things up for this team. The Packers' history has always been written with courage, tough decisions, and a fan base that never abandons the team. And now begins another chapter in this journey. And now I want to hear from you, passionate Green Bay fans. This is the moment to open your hearts and share your thoughts on all of this. Was this trade the right decision for the Packers' future? Or do you believe the team lost a player who could still contribute a lot on the field? Every fan's opinion matters because this team has always been driven by the passion of its supporters. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Who should be the next great pass rusher to wear the green and gold? Do you believe the management will look for a new name on the market? Or do you think the answer might be coming through the draft? Let's transform this space into a real discussion among fans who live and breathe Packers every day. And if you love following everything that happens with the Green Bay Packers, from behind-the-scenes rumors to the big decisions that can change the franchise's course, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because here we experience every news story with the intensity of those who truly love this team. The season may be constantly changing. Players may come and go, but one thing never changes: the strength of the fans and the immense tradition of this team. So stay tuned, because any new development, any important rumor, any decision that could impact the future of the Packers, you'll hear about it here first. And as always, we remain united in supporting this historic team. Go Pack Go!